From the Oklahoma newsroom, this is the Thunder Update. I'm Jenny Carlson. The Thunder is ready to hit the road for several games. Erik Horne joins us to talk about what could be a crucial road stretch. Erik, let's start with Tuesday. Off to Minnesota are the Thunder after a very close call against a not good Memphis team on Sunday. How important is this Tuesday night game against Minnesota?
Big one for the Thunder, not just for themselves personally and the standings, but look, they've got 3 games after this that are going to be really tough at Portland, at the LA Clippers. That's a back-to-back. And then they got to go to Utah, which is never never an easy place to play. And look, these are teams that are all pretty tightly clustered with the Thunder in the standings, Portland and Utah. You know, Houston's a game behind. They're tied with Portland in terms of record. They have the 3-0 advantage on Portland in the season series, which helps a ton. And they have a 3-0 advantage on Utah in the season series as well. But those teams are gaining on them in the standings overall. The Thunder really needs to keep their lead on those teams in terms of the overall record. And these are going to be some big games this week.
What did you see on Sunday night against Memphis that you liked? I mean, there was a lot of that game that, you know, was not to a lot of people's liking if you're looking at it from the Thunder side. But what did you like, and what do you think could potentially carry over as they hit the road for these crucial games? I
like the bench play. I thought the bench has actually played pretty well, even when the Thunder, hasn't played particularly well in these last 5 or 6 games. I liked Russell Westbrook making a couple of clutch shots late. You don't like Russell Westbrook taking the amount of threes that he took last night. I think 13 of his 19 shots were 3-pointers last night, but he makes a clutch one late. The mid-range jumper that he hit to put the Thunder ahead for good was a really nice shot. It looked really clean coming out of his hand. That's something that we just frankly haven't seen from Russell Westbrook this year a lot of, and it's crazy that we're even saying that because this is a guy that last year or a couple years ago seemed like he made every shot in the galaxy. And then I like the defensive integrity late in the game. The last 6.5 minutes they really buckled down. Even though Memphis isn't a very good team, to hold a team scoreless for as long as the Thunder did in those last 6.5 minutes, that's really promising for their defense. Jeremy Grant was big in that time. Terrence Ferguson was instrumental. Steven Adams, 22 rebounds, 1 shy of his career high. Dennis Schroeder got on the glass. He had a career high 12 rebounds. The Thunder defended the glass. They defended well at the point of attack. And they hit some clutch free throws down the stretch, too. And those are some things that we, frankly, haven't seen from them in tight games this season.
As some of these teams you were talking about that the Thunder's getting ready to play are hitting their stride, maybe sort of looking more and more postseason ready, the Thunder playing without Paul George, obviously a huge piece of the puzzle for them that they're going without. What do we know at this point, if anything, about when he might return? And obviously, that's wreaking some havoc with what the Thunder's able to do and what they're able to not do out there.
Yeah, Billy Donovan talked about it last night, how he needs to do a better job of putting those guys in position to have an identity on offense when Paul George isn't on the floor. That says a lot about how much he's meant to this Thunder team this season. Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder have really struggled without Paul George. The team in general has struggled defensively without him. But even before he was out, the Thunder wasn't playing particularly great basketball. This injury is stretched on a little longer than the Thunder anticipated. It's kind of a thing that just popped up in the Denver game. They hope to have him back on this road trip at some point, but they're not going to push it with a month left in the season and having to have Paul George healthy going into the playoffs.
All right, Tuesday night, it's at Minnesota. The Thunder, a 7 o'clock tip, and then a couple 9:30 starts on Thursday and Friday against Portland and the Clippers. So Get your nap in, Thunder fans. There's a lot of big basketball coming up you want to stay awake for. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.